Oh, good morning. Here it is. It's Friday. It's November the 3rd, and anyway, we've made it to the end of the week. We're on the threshold of another weekend, and anyway, I hope and pray. Hope that you had a great Thursday. Hope you were successful and maybe trying to work towards getting ready for today, Friday, and then for the weekend. And hope that you're doing well this morning. Hope that you're well rested. Hope that things are. Hope that you're looking forward to the opportunities that God's going to present to us, on this wonderful day that God has made. Anyway, this morning I want to share a devotional with you entitled "Move in the Right Direction." Corrie ten Boom, she said the following: "The measure of a life, after all, is not its duration, but its donation." I think it's important to think about what kind of donation our lives are making. In Acts chapter 20, the Apostle Paul, he identified what the measure of a person, ought to be, and the qualities that we should see, in the life of a leader. In a way, every Christian is a leader. We may be leading our children, or we may be examples, to younger believers. But we need to take to heart what Paul says and what he instructs us. This was an emotional moment, for the Apostle Paul. He was giving his final words to the leaders, of the church of Ephesus. And Paul, he had spent time ministering, to them and, helping them and certainly praying for them and caring for them. But you see, he was going away. And so in effect, Paul was saying, this is what I want you to remember. These are things that we, that should describe, your walk with God. And so he told them in Acts 20, verse 24, he said, "But my life is worth nothing to me unless I use it for the finishing work assigned me by the Lord Jesus, the work of telling others the good news about the wonderful grace of God." The New King James Version puts it this way. It says, "But none of these things move me, nor do I count my life dear to myself, so that I may finish my race with joy and the ministry which I received from the Lord Jesus to testify to the gospel of the grace of God." Now, Paul, he compared himself to a runner in a race. Using the same analogy in 1 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 24, he said, this is the New Living Testament, says, "Don't you realize that in a race everyone runs, but only one gets the prize? So run to win." Now, we can get off track, in the race of life. I think all of us can attest to that. And that's why it's so important, for us to focus on our own race and not the race of others, that are running. I think it's important for us, to understand that, our times are in God's hands. Everything about us, the time that we're living, it's in God's hands. Our lives are a gift to us from God. Every day that God gives us the breath to breathe, that's a gift. God, he decides, when they begin, and God decides, when our life will end. And so Paul, he wasn't saying that life wasn't important, because he wrote to the believers there in Philippi in Philippians chapter 1, verse 21. He wrote, "For to me, living means living for Christ, and dying is even better." You see, Paul was just simply saying that he knew that his life was a gift from God, as ours is. In his book, Nearing Home, Billy Graham, he wrote this. He said, "I often wonder if God, in his sovereignty, allows the eyesight of the aged to cast a dim view of the here and now, so that we may focus our spiritual eyes on the ever after." as we see the frailty of life, especially, when we've lost a loved one, who's passed on, you see eternity becomes more tangible and so much more important to us. The length of our lives is determined by God. It's not by us. We don't determine the length of our lives. And so we want to make sure that we're moving in the right direction, right now. The evening of our life is determined by the morning of it. The end is determined by the beginning. And, I think it's so important, I mentioned that about what Billy Graham said, as I get older, I'm finding that more and more of, friends and loved ones are on the other side of heaven. They're already there. I've got more and more people that are there. And so I look forward to that day, but we need to be living for right now because God has given us this day. And so anyway, I hope that encourages you. I hope you have a wonderful Friday. And as always on Friday, if you find yourself close to Hydro on Sunday morning and you don't have a place to worship, come join us at Hydro First Baptist Church. We'd love to have you come and join us there. But anyway, remember Angie and I, we love you guys and we're praying for you. And Lord willing, I'll see you soon. God bless you.